So in today's episode, I will be changing the differential fluid on the Mustang with the help of my assistant. I'm Jill.
I'm the assistant.
And this is 151 Garage.
Like Jill said, she's going to go through the process of changing the differential fluid in her Mustang. Now, she's going to do all the work herself with the exception of when she needs her assistant's help. Now, she doesn't want to call upon her assistant very often because her assistant is very grumpy. I'm the assistant grumpy, as you can see the tag underneath, or tag over my head. Now, I will guide her in what needs to happen. I will show her what the process is and help her where needed. She will go through and explain what she's doing. She'll explain the tools. She'll explain what to look out for and so forth. Now, we do have everything set on the hood right here. We will move the camera over and explain what everything on the hood, including the tools and what you may need. Every car is different depending on what you need or fluid. So this is for a 2006 Ford Mustang base model. It is a V6, so it's not the
Not
GT.
the GT version.
Yeah, it's not the GT. The GT would be completely different fluid or more fluid than this, and the process would be a little bit fairly the same. Most of it's the same. It's just the gaskets, the fluid, and such like that you'd need a little bit different. So look up what you need for your vehicle if you plan on doing this. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, we'll meet you there.
So what we have right here is everything that we're going to need. I will probably add another quart of fluid just in case I have, I need extra. But what we have is the Max Gear synthetic blend with a friction modifier. What I have on this vehicle is a limited slip differential. You have to have a friction modifier in it, with a limited slip. Now the weight on mine is 75 W140. So we have two of these. I'll probably add another one to have extra. We have the gasket. We also have a scraper to get the old gasket off and clean around the area just to make sure that it adheres well. We have a hose to fill from this to the differential. We also have a wire brush. Now the wire brush is going to be for the fill port area. You want to make sure everything is really clean in that area, because if any dirt particles or debris gets into the differential, it could cause some damage with the gears. They're very delicate. So we just want to make sure when we fill it, it's pristine and nothing gets in there. We also have a ratchet with a 13mm socket. That's the size bolt pattern that I have. And then we have paper towels to wipe up any kind of spillage on the ground or around the area to make sure that nothing gets into that fill port. So that's what we got going on. We'll see underneath the car. All right, now that we're underneath this thing, I have the wire brush, and we already cleaned the drain plug right here. Again, you want to clean the area as good as you can get it to prevent any kind of debris from going into the hole, because any particles can cause damage to the gears. It is a 3/8 of an inch drive, so we're going to use just a ratchet because the end will actually fit into the hole of the plug. The reason why we're going to go ahead and remove the plug is to see if it can come out first, because if it can't come out, there's really no point in proceeding. If it does come out, we can check the level of the fluid in the differential. As you can tell, there is a little bit of wetness right here, so we are suspecting there is a little bit of a leak in the gasket area, so that's another reason why we're doing this. So let's just get with it. Alright, so I am not using a socket. It is literally just a 3/8 of an inch ratchet.
You might be able to take it up by hand, by the way.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So do we want to put a thing underneath here?
No, there's nothing. It won't come out. It won't leak.
So I'm getting out of the way just in case it does droplets. I'm unscrewing it by hand, and I thought I dropped it, but not. Yeah, that is pretty gnarly. It is filthy. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and take all of these off except for the very, very top. The reason why, because I need to pry this loose and have it dump in here. So I did take the glasses off because I couldn't see. Getting a little bit foggy. I've never seen the pumpkin open. I mean, I've seen them on like videos. So for those of you that are not car savvy, the differential is also known as a pumpkin. And that's
like
what we're working on right now. And the case is shaped to accommodate the gears that are within it. So this big bulge is a really big gear that's inside. And there's a lot of moving parts in these things.
Go ahead and try to pry it out a little bit. Don't take it out completely.
I'm not. I just want to make sure that it's not gonna.
Perfect. This eliminates the big gush of fluid coming out at the same time.
The fluid looks really good on this. It doesn't look dark. It doesn't look cloudy.
You can go ahead and take the last bolt out because we know it's fairly empty. Yeah, doesn't look bad. Go ahead and take the last bolt out.
Bloop.
Bloop, bloop.
You need burping. Got some burpage.
There we go.
And clean off my glove just enough so I can grip it. Definitely don't weigh enough to like keep this damn thing still.
Put your rest in.
All right, peeps. That is your cover, and the gasket is shot.
Yeah, that's probably why it was freaking leaking.
The gasket is really bad.
So we'll have to clean up that real well. Okay. If you guys look, there's a gasket right there.
Right here?
I think it's more like an RTV gasket rather than a regular paper gasket because it doesn't look like a normal gasket.
No, it doesn't. It's like flaking off because it was even coming off on here.
That's probably why it was leaking so bad. So it was leaking from pretty much where it fills all the way down because of the gasket they used. We will clean that up. When I say we, she will clean that up, as well as the cover, which is right there, inside and out, as well as the bolt that's on the back side, the fill bolt. So we'll go ahead and see you at the table.
All right, now that we have it out, you can see how disgusting this is. There is an RTV gasket on here, so it's a different kind of gasket, kind of like a rubbery gasket than the paper one that we're going to put on. There is a burr right in here that we're going to file, as well as down over here, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and degrease this. We're going to scrape off the gasket and get this cleaned up to where we mount it on. It's going to be flush and nothing will seep through like it was earlier. So we're gonna go ahead and use our trusty degreaser and go from there. What we have here is a bag full of bolts. I put those in a bucket here and soaked them up with the degreaser. I also took these two brushes and a scraper to get some of the seal, the RTV seal that was on the gasket off of the bolt because they were a little bit stuck to it. So right now they're sitting in alcohol to get all the degreaser off. I will be soaking this in degreaser in another bag because this is pretty awful. So this has to be really pristine before I put it back in, and any contaminants will get into the fluid and that's gonna mess up the gears. So I just wanna make sure that it's clean.
So the biggest thing with this right here is it is a magnetic, basically insert. It has the metal debris on the back side. So we need to make sure that's cleared off so that way the next time we pull it out, we know if there's more metal on it or it's the metal that was there previously. So we will make sure this thing's pristine, kind of like the magnet that's in the bottom of the transmission pan. So same concept.
Just a different part.
Yeah, different style.
Oops. Well, we have everything cleaned inside and out. On here we did take care of that one little burr. We did do the bolts, got all the gunk off of this. We do have a new gasket that we need to put on, but before we get any of this back on the car, we have to crawl underneath the car and clean that area up really good so that we can put this on and have it adhere properly. So I'll see you underneath. Well, now that we're back underneath the car, Sean put a rag over this, that way when I start scraping, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. When I start scraping, it'll just go down into this. As we work our way to the top, I'm going to pull it out a little bit. That way it provides a shield against this cubby in here. That way nothing falls inside of it. You don't want debris, again, inside your pumpkin because it will damage the gears. So we're trying to keep this as clean and neat as possible. So I gotta get this RTV off of here so we can stick the new gasket on. Well, we got this part of it cleaned up. We scraped all the RTV off of it with a plastic scraper and a Scotch-Brite and some alcohol. So we got this prepped. We got to get this area cleaned up so we can put everything back in and start the filling process. So we got the Felpro gasket on, and now we did a little bit of research about the Felpro gasket, and it doesn't require a film of fluid on this like we did with the transmission. It's designed to pretty much fill in any kind of imperfections on the surface. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and put this together. Now, you really can't put this on backwards or wrong because the big hump here goes over the massive gear. So that's like a fail safe on that. Now we did check the interior on this to make sure all the debris was out as best as we possibly could. It is fine. There's nothing in it. And let's see if I can do this without scooting around too much. Maybe. I'm going to do the star pattern where it's this way, this way, this way, this way, and then I'll go around and do the final, and then we'll torque it, and then we'll fill it. Oh, we have everything torqued, ready to go for filling. We have this ingenious contraption that Sean made. So it's just a regular tubing, and we just cinched it down over the filler part of the bottle with a zip tie, and we used a cap for the top to fill this, so we have a cap so we don't spill it. So we're gonna uncap it, put the hole into the fill plug area, and since we have a cubby hole up here, every car is gonna be different, but I have a cubby, we are going to maneuver this around and fill this up. Oh wow, look at that pretty purple. And a gorgeous color. I'm good, I got this. There we go. Here's that one.
There's one.
Oh, one down. Here's the cap.
Number 2.
Oh, 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 oh.
Go. Put that there. Drop that. Now put that in by hand.
I got it. I finally got it. Okay.
Snug?
Yes.
Okay.
Snug and a bug and a rug.
I hope you guys like the fact that Jill's doing most of the work on this. This is her vehicle that she's going to play around with. This is her learning vehicle. So I am teaching her on how to do some of the things that I know how to do, also the proper use of some of the tools and what she needs to look for in the process. I hope you guys like that too. I really like helping her out. I really like showing her what needs to happen and how to work through problems that may come up and solutions.
So far, a lot of firsts has been happening. So I did my first oil change, first transmission fluid flush change, and now the differential change as well. And I got to use a torque wrench ratchet for the first
torque
time.
wrench. So
Ever.
she's never used a torque wrench before. I use a torque wrench on a daily basis. If you guys don't know, I do build jet engines for the F-35.
He has a lot of specialized tools.
Yeah, I use specialized tools every day for everything I do. So I love the mechanics of it. I love working on stuff. I love working on this. But the one thing I do want to do is have her learn, so I'm not always the one doing it. I love watching her work. That's why I'm always behind the camera lately, because I'm guiding her on how to do it. If you guys like that, please leave a comment. If you guys want to know certain aspects of, you know, what you'd like to know, what you'd like to learn, let us know, and we'll try to fit that in somewhere in our builds and stuff. Yeah. Now, as you guys see behind me, I have a bumper sitting on the hood.
So this is the front bumper, and
we'll get into that in a different video.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother funny.
This has some really awesome transformation to it.
That'll be going on next week. So we're gonna complete the front end of her vehicle next week.
I can't wait. She'll like.
We'll have a somewhat
complete front end
finished vehicle, although it may look kind of weird with 3-4 different colors on it, but we're gonna wrap the whole thing one color anyways, and that's something that we're gonna do. Again, we're doing all things first. We're trying things out on this vehicle before we take it to the other vehicles we have. Anyways, leave a comment if you like this stuff. Leave a comment if you like the fact that she's actually doing most of the work. I like it. I'll leave the first comment. About time she got out from behind the camera and did something for me. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for her, and you'll see more of her during the next future videos. Bye.
Bye. Somebody got your